Verben mit Ergänzungen, verbs with complements. In this lesson, I will teach you why is it so important that you know what's a complement, what's an adjunct, and which complements are there. And yes, this is the lesson about verbs with nominative, accusative, dative, genitive, or verbs with prepositions. Hi, my name is Jan and I'm your German teacher here on EasyDeutsch, your YouTube channel for German grammar. Today's topic is verbs with complements, Verben mit Ergänzungen. This is part 1 of this video. Today I will explain you the general knowledge that you have to know to understand German verb complements. So verbs with the different cases of verbs with prepositions. So with the help of my ebook, I will show you now everything you have to know. So let's switch into my ebook. So we're here now in my ebook, German Grammar Explained Easily. Today's topic is Verben mit Ergänzungen, so verbs with complements. And yes, those are those verbs that require you to use a specific case. So let's jump right there. Here we are. So verbs with complements. Usually there's 2 different kinds of what a verb can require or what you use together with verbs. Those are complements and adjunct. In German, Ergänzung, complement, and Angabe. And the difference between those 2 complements are required things, and adjuncts or Angaben are stuff that can be left out. So there might be less information in the sentence, but the sentence is still grammatically correct. While if you leave out complements, it's usually becoming an incomplete sentence. So usually all verbs always come with at least adjuncts or complements there. The only exception is if you actually give commands, because there is no subject in imperative, so com. This is the only way it works without any adjunct or complement. But usually even the subject is a complement. It's the so-called nominative complement, because remember, subject is always nominative case, and this is usually required because it tells you who is doing something or who are we talking about. It tells you how to conjugate the verb. And there are 5 different groups of complements. They're divided by the cases: nominative complement, accusative complement, dative complement, and genitive complement. Although they're extremely rare, on the beginner level you won't encounter them. And prepositional complements, so all verbs that require you to use a specific preposition. If you have no idea what cases are, you still struggle, I also recommend you to check out my playlist about the German cases. They will explain to you everything in detail, when to use the different cases and also when to put which ending there. That's not part of this video. Here I will just give you a short overview between the difference of adjunct and the complement. For example, here we have the sentence: Der Mann gibt dem Kind jetzt den Ball. Here we have 3 complements and 1 adjunct. Nominative, it's the subject. You need a subject here. So almost all verbs require you to use the subject, unless you use them in imperative, then you don't. But in general, every verb comes with a nominative complement because that's the subject. And then some verbs, that's just it. Most verbs require you an additional accusative or dative complement, and some of them, like geben, require you to use accusative and dative. You probably also heard this as accusative object, dative object. That's exactly what we're talking about here, but the grammatically more precise word for it is Ergänzung in German, so complement, because object can sometimes be a little bit misleading here. So that's why whenever there is no preposition in front, it can be one of those 4. So the moment there is a preposition in front, it could still be a complement, but only one of those. So let's have a look here. What's the difference between those 3 and this one? Here, nominative complement, we can obviously not drop the subject. The sentence doesn't make sense if you say, gibt dem Kind jetzt den Ball. So give the kid the ball now. That would in English work, but as an order. And it's not an order here because we want to say the man gives the ball to the kid. So here we cannot drop this. So let's have a look. Can we drop the kid? Das dem Kind. Der Mann gibt jetzt den Ball. No. We cannot leave the kid out because then it would be just the man gives now the ball. And it leaves the question open, yet to whom? To whom does he give the ball? Because it has to go somewhere if he gives it to something, somebody. So this cannot be left out. And den Ball, the man gives the kid now. Yeah, what? What does the man give to the kid? We don't know what. We want to know what. So that it cannot be dropped because it leaves in very important information that is necessary for this sentence to make sense out. So it can't be dropped. But jetzt, so now, can be dropped because that's not a necessary information for the sentence to make sense. We can say the man gives the kid the ball, or the ball to the kid in better English. We don't need the now. The now is just additional information. So it's good to know that it's happening now and not 5 minutes ago or in 10 minutes, whatever. This is something that is maybe important, but not relevant from a grammatical point of view. This sentence still makes sense without jetzt, without now. But with those two, it leaves questions open that can't be answered, so the sentence doesn't make sense anymore. And the Angabeadjunct is just an additional information. So let's have a look at 2 more examples to make it more obvious for you. Here we have der Mann wartet mit einem Geschenk auf seine Tochter. So the man is waiting with a present for his daughter. Here we have obviously a nominative complement because it's a subject, so we cannot drop that. Then we have the verb, and then we have 2 additional information that are not necessary. Nice to know, but it's not necessary to actually put them there. The sentence works even if you put the period right here. Like if you say like der Mann wartet, the man is waiting. Done. Works like that, right? In English as well. And if we put mit einem Geschenk, so with a present, oh, nice to know. He has something in his hand for his daughter. Now we know for whom he's waiting. Nice to know, but not grammatically necessary. The sentence works if we put the period here. That's why they're both adjuncts and not complements. And we have another example here, which works a little bit different. Ich interessiere mich für die deutsche Geschichte. So I'm interested in the German history. Here, nominative, subject, that's the complement. And we have another accusative complement here because interessieren, to be interested, is reflexive in German. It's a true reflexive verb, so we always have to add the reflexive pronoun. If you don't know what a true reflexive verb is, please check out the info cards in the upper right corner. They will link a video for you. And if you want to know when to use dative and when to use accusative for the reflexive pronoun, please check out the info cards right now. There is another video linked for you where I'll explain everything to you. But in this video, I want to explain you why it's important to know that this is a prepositional complement. Here, interessieren always works together with the preposition für. So it cannot go without. It's always interested in. So you cannot use that without the preposition. Under no circumstances, it cannot be dropped. In English, you kind of can. If the situation is clear, you can say, yeah, I'm interested, if you know what we're talking about, right? But in German, you really can't. So that's why this is a prepositional complement. It always goes together with für. So it's always ich interessiere mich für whatever comes afterwards. You cannot drop that under no circumstances. There are not that many verbs that actually do that. If you want to know all the verbs that do have a prepositional complement, I recommend you check out my ebook, 40+ grammar lists. There you find a complete list of all verbs that have a prepositional complement. Why is it important to know that? Well, if it's just one of those here, you can actually easily leave that out. You just have to know that it's warten auf. That's something you have to know that's going with this preposition, but you can exchange that. You can put something else here between, but here you have to use this even if it's obvious. Here, if it's obvious, you can drop that. This you cannot drop under no circumstances. Here, if it's obvious, if you know that I just told you I'm waiting for my daughter, and then you repeat that, you can actually drop that. Here,
here you really can't. You cannot drop the part with the preposition. And that's why this is important. On an A1, A2 level, not so much. But if you're already going to like B1 or above, this is a very important information for you, that you can drop this, but you cannot drop this. That's why it's so important. Also very important, those kind of complements with the different cases, you can't drop them. If they're very obvious, sometimes you can, but I recommend you to memorize, just don't. Because there's no clear rule when you can and when you can't. So that's why my recommendation is, in the moment it's a complement, so an object, you cannot drop that. But you can drop adjuncts, so Angaben, you can always drop them. If you want to know more about all these complements, there is a separate video about each complement, so they're all going by the cases and of course the prepositions. It's a playlist here, so probably if you just stick to this video, the next one will already be here, the nominative complements. Otherwise, just check out the playlist that I link right now in the info cards for you.
Now you know the basics of German verbs with complements, Verben mit Ergänzungen. This was part 1, and in the following videos I will explain you every single complement in detail. So subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you don't miss those videos, or just click on the next video here in the playlist if you watch this later on. But if you have any further questions right now, please do not hesitate to ask them in the comment section below. And if you want to support me, which I will be very, very grateful for, it's always a great support if you share this video with your friends, if you like my video, and of course, if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to support me even further, or may like the ebook that you've just seen here in this video, you can buy this Kim, please cut this part. You can buy this ebook and also 9 more ebooks. The links to my ebooks you will find in the comment section and also in the video description. Thank you very much for supporting me. And then that's it for today. And then I hope I will see you again in one of my other videos. And until then, viel Spaß und Erfolg beim Deutschlernen.